welcome to the deep dive. So you sent over some really thought-provoking stuff this time.
Yeah, a YouTube transcript mainly, right? Lots of observations weaving together global events, personal stories.
Exactly. And this kind of underlying feeling that something significant is happening. So our mission today is to unpack that for you.
Right. We're looking at a transcript from Jasnowidzi Krzysztof Jackowski official. It's definitely a unique perspective on things.
It is?
We want to explore the links the source makes and, think about what it all might mean for you trying to make sense of things.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The first thing that really caught my eye was this major incident and explosion in Iran. Bandar Mashar.
That's the one. The transcript mentions a fact article saying over 700 people injured. That's a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
And what's really highlighted is the timing. It supposedly happened during the ceremonies for the Pope's funeral.
Okay, so that timing is flagged as potentially significant. A huge religious event happening at the same time as this disaster.
Exactly. It prompts you to ask, is there a connection? Now, the transcript says Iranian media offered various explanations. Technical problems, even an earthquake.
Uh-huh. Standard procedure sometimes.
But then it pivots. It raises the possibility of, well, sabotage.
Sabotage. Okay, why?
Well, the idea presented in the source is that this specific port is important. Something about China maybe supplying Iran through there.
Ah, I see.
And the YouTuber speculates, could Israel have a motive, to disrupt Iran's nuclear program, maybe even provoke a war?
That's a heavy implication. Just speculation from the source, of course.
Of course. It's worth remembering how quickly blame gets assigned in these situations. Evidence takes time.
True. And the transcript mentions the creator had talked about similar things before, like a dirty bomb prediction near Israel, another near Hormuz.
Yeah, it references those prior claims, so it sort of presents this as potentially part of a pattern he's foreseen. It adds this layer of unease, doesn't it?
It does. And that number, over 700 injured, just sticks with you. It's a massive event, regardless of the cause.
And it's interesting how the source deliberately weaves that geopolitical event with the Pope's funeral. It sort of invites you to look for meaning, for connections between very different kinds of events.
Okay, so after that geopolitical angle, the YouTube video apparently shifts gears completely. It goes into something very personal, almost. Spiritual. Experiences related to death.
That's right. Two specific viewer stories are shared. The first is from someone called Soy Koz.
Okay.
They talk about meditating and having a vision 3 days before their grandmother actually passed away. Seeing the passing, seeing black figures, a black aura. Pretty intense stuff.
Wow, yeah, very vivid. These kinds of personal accounts are always powerful, even if, they raise questions about how we perceive things.
Definitely. And then another viewer, Stanislaw Oberek, apparently commented that the funeral itself wasn't remarkable. But the YouTuber's explanation connects Soy Koz's premonition specifically to the time frame of the Pope's passing, as if that global event created some kind of heightened sensitivity.
Right, implying this interconnectedness between the global and the personal. It's suggests a framework where these things aren't totally separate.
If you look at the whole transcript, there seems to be this focus on moments of big change, big transitions, both worldwide and in individual lives. These stories make you think about how we process those moments.
And the second story is just as striking, isn't it?
Yeah.
About someone's dying mother.
Yeah, an acquaintance of a listener. Their mother, apparently in her last days, was talking to deceased relatives Ginek and Basia, the names mentioned.
Okay.
And the interpretation offered was that these were souls, loved ones, coming for her, like the veil between worlds thinning out. She died 2 days later.
You hear stories like that sometimes. Comforting in a way for the families.
They pop up in lots of cultures, these near-death experiences or visions, putting these very personal, intimate stories right next to the Iran explosion. It creates a really distinct mood in the source material, doesn't it? Makes you consider significance on different scales.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then sticking with this theme of things beyond the everyday, the source talks about a strong feeling the creator have. About something strange appearing in the sky.
Yeah. A strange celestial spectacle is how it's put. And the emphasis is that this isn't just a quick flash like a shooting star. It's something lasting.
Not necessarily aliens, though.
Apparently not. The speaker initially thinks probably not UFOs, but definitely something unusual, high up in the sky.
And more detail on what it might look like.
Shapes or objects producing light effects. That's about it. But the area where it's seen is described dramatically. an area of experience, a cosmic experience, a visualization.
Very grand language, almost cinematic.
It is, and there's uncertainty expressed about whether the public will be told what it really is, which, feeds into potential reactions, fascination for some, maybe fear for others.
Right, depending on the narrative presented.
Yeah.
But there's a crucial detail mentioned, isn't there, about its origin?
Yes, exactly. The prediction is that whatever is seen will be of earthly origin.
Earthly origin. So not alien tech, not a natural cosmic event,
Yeah.
but something we did.
That's the implication. Connected to something in space somehow, but the visual effect in our sky is caused by something from Earth. That distinction feels important.
Yeah, it shifts the focus entirely. It suggests manipulation, or at least human agency on a massive scale.
It certainly opens the door to that interpretation, moving away from pure astronomy or sci-fi tropes towards something potentially more orchestrated.
Which leads directly into maybe the most startling claim in the whole transcript. This idea that humanity is being prepared for something called a global cosmic spectacle.
That's the phrase used, and the interpretation given is pretty stark. It's designed to mislead.
Mislead how?
To make people believe something that isn't true. Specifically, the source suggests making people believe in visiting aliens or other unexplained phenomena, creating a false narrative on a grand scale.
Wow. Okay. That's quite a claim. The idea of mass deception through a staged event.
It is, and it's framed as just the beginning of more spectacles like this to come.
And the source offers some, well, examples to back this up, things that have already happened.
It does mention a couple of things, yeah. Alleged FBI exercises in U.S. cities where people were supposedly dressed up as inhuman beings, like aliens.
Really? FBI exercises like that?
That's what the transcript claims. And it also points to the recent surge in mainstream media talking about UFOs, the congressional hearings, that whole uptick in official interest.
Huh. So the implication is maybe those weren't random. Maybe they were groundwork.
That seems to be the suggestion, that these past events, the weird exercises, the UFO discourse, were maybe softening us up or preparing us somehow to be confused or convinced by these upcoming spectacles.
That certainly makes you think about how narratives are built, doesn't it? Who controls the information?
Absolutely. It raises big questions about media, government transparency, and the potential for large-scale psychological operations, essentially. The transcript puts forward this idea of a deliberate shaping of global belief.
Okay, now beyond those major points, the transcript also zips through a few other topics briefly.
Yeah, quite a mix. First, the YouTuber apparently avoids giving a specific prediction about the next pope.
Right, referencing a past deep dive we did, as008.
Yeah.
But they gave a general feeling about the type of pope it might be.
Correct. They also kind of rate their own clairvoyant abilities, suggesting they're better with personal or criminal cases than predicting future global stuff, which is seen as more fluid, more influenced by suggestion and politics.
Interesting self-assessment. What else?
Not wanting to discuss specific presidential candidates, keeping the channel apolitical, and also a feeling that many candidates seem, well, weak.
Okay.
There's a brief mention of Trump having his 5 minutes, but likely fading fast without concrete action and not being taken too seriously internationally, including by China or even Putin anymore.
Interesting political take there.
Then it jumps again. Is clairvoyance inherited? The speaker says no, it can be learned, but positive personal qualities are important.
Right. And black magic.
Presented simply as negative thoughts and actions, envy, jealousy, lying, nothing supernatural, just human negativity.
Gotcha. Anything else quick?
Yeah, a few more. Gold is seen as stable for uncertain times, despite fluctuations, criticizing complex modern finance. A quick nod to a viewer question linking Elon Musk to the sky spectacle, implying it's part of the same picture.
Oh, okay.
And then just personal bits attending a Lady Pink concert, sharing a listener's story about a car accident as a reminder to value each day.
So a real mix of the cosmic, the political, and the personal.
Definitely. And all these little points kind of feed into this overall atmosphere. The transcript builds this sense of unease, of waiting for something big and potentially bad.
Yeah, that feeling of a calm before the storm comes through strongly at the end, doesn't it?
It does. A warning, framed as not trying to scaremonger, but just acknowledging uncertain times. It mentions impending negative events that will re-energize the world, but negatively.
And ties it into AI as well.
Yes, that's the final kicker. The potential impact of artificial intelligence reducing the need for humans is mentioned as a factor contributing to this instability and uncertainty. It connects the potential grand deception in the sky with very real, down-to-earth anxieties about the future of work and society. Gives you a lot to chew on.
Absolutely. So just to wrap our heads around it, we've gone from this major explosion in Iran during the Pope's funeral through these very intimate stories of seeing death or spirits.
Right, and then into this wild prediction of a strange sky event, possibly staged, designed to mislead everyone on a global scale.
It's quite a journey through one source's perspective.
It really is. And remember, this is all drawn directly from the material you shared. We've just tried to unpack the threads and connections presented there, hopefully giving you a deeper look into this specific viewpoint.
So the final thought we want to leave you with is this. Think about how these seemingly unconnected pieces might fit together in the narrative presented. The geopolitics, the personal mortality, the predicted cosmic spectacle.
Yeah, and it's a big if presented by the source, but if there were a deliberate effort to shape beliefs using a massive manufactured event in the sky, what could possibly be the goal?
And more importantly, what should you be aware of or maybe critical of as you navigate all the information, all the perceptions being thrown at us constantly?
It really pushes you to reflect on what you accept as reality, the influence of belief, and just how easily perception might be manipulated in this incredibly complex world we're living in.